Alright, so we're back with another book review, but this month is going to be a little bit different compared to other months because we read different books this time.
Yep.
We couldn't really agree on a book and had a lot of school and stuff, so we just decided it'd be better to do two separate books. So I did Binding 13 and you did...
Better Than the Movies.
Alright, you want to go first?
So, this book, I have never loved a book as much as I like this one. So this is literally the perfect rom-com, book. It's literally a rom-com. So it starts off as a fake, it's a friends to lovers fake dating kind of thing. So you have these two characters, Liz and Wes. They live right next door to each other. They've been enemies for as long as Liz can remember. They always pull little pranks on each other. They used to be friends when they were younger. Then they started to turn a little Wes pulls all these pranks on Liz. Liz gets back at him. They fight over this one parking spot because they live on the end of the street. There's only one parking spot near both of their houses, and they both drive. So it's an ongoing battle of who gets the parking spot, who gets there first, all this stuff. And so there's a guy that moves back to town, and Liz used to have a huge crush on him. And so when he moves back, all those feelings come back, but he's a lot different. So he runs with the more popular crowd, aka Wes's friends. And so Liz puts her bad feelings aside for Wes and asks him to help her, and in exchange, he gets the parking spot for as long as this deal is going on. And so the deal is that Wes would help Liz get in with him, and so Wes takes her to all these parties, all these basketball games, and in the end, Liz starts to sort of like Wes, and basically prom comes around and the other guy asks Liz to prom and she says yes, and Wes takes someone else, and it just becomes this whole thing. And in the end they end up there's this moment where it was so fun. After the prom, when Liz had already realized her feelings at this point, she made a mixtape for Wes. She was waiting for him in their little spot out in the woods where they used to hang out. And he hears his car door shut after he gets home from prom, and then he hears another one because he brought the date home, and Wes touches her trying to leave and all this stuff. And so after that, the next day, he stops her at her car and asks her what that was about last night, and she basically explains it, and he said his favorite, and she kept asking him, she was like, are you guys a thing? He's like, no. And she's like, why not? She's literally perfect. And he goes, she's not you. And I have never, my jaw dropped. I was like, I've never, that was actually the cutest thing ever. And she was like, what? And he said, she's not you. And he's like, I've loved you since the second grade, when I noticed I could make your cheeks flush with just me talking and all that stuff. And he's like, I've loved you since the second grade. And she was like, what? And it was so cute. And then they kissed in the rain. It was so cute. It was a perfect little rom-com, pick-me-up read that I needed during these stressful couple months with IAs and all that stuff. But I highly recommend this book. It was a really it wasn't a light read, but I read the last 200 pages in one night because it got so good I couldn't put it down. But now we're going to take a turn for the dark side.
Out of 5 stars.
Oh, 5 out of 5 stars. 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend.
Alright, like you said, to the dark side now. So my book was Binding 13, and it's about this young girl who, it's set in Ireland, I believe. I think so. So it's set in the UK, Europe, all of that. So it was really nice to get different perspectives and different worldly views and stuff. It's about this girl who grows up in a household that is ruled by a father that's not the best, and her whole life all she's ever known is abusive parents, and her older brother being more of a parent than her actual parents. And she gets bullied out of her school and has to go to this private school and ends up meeting this rugby player. Well, towards the end, at the beginning, he notices that something's different about her that she would come to school with bruises and be very closed off. She was super small and skinny, even though she looked like 12 when she was 16 and stuff like that. Like you could tell that she had a rough life. And this book made me cry for days. It was not a light read. I stayed up until at least 3 a.m. reading this book so many times, and I would be sobbing in my bed. While it's a good book, yes, all of the topics that they hit, like domestic violence, like physical, verbal abuse, all of that, like being sexually abused, everything like that, it covers all of it, and it was nice in a way to see a different perspective of how stuff like that happens in other countries, because like I know it happens in the United States and it's a very frequent thing, so seeing that this is like a worldly problem and not just something like close to home, it definitely opened my eyes a lot more. It was also a very long book. I don't know if it was because like as soon as I finished Binding 13, the first one, I had to go straight and read the second one. Like every single person I've talked to that has read this book has said, if you want to read it, make sure you have the second one ready to go, or else like it's gonna be bad. Like you need to read the second one in order to get that closure. But I'm glad she split it up into 2 books, because that was the longest book of my life. But I definitely recommend it. She just came out on the 16th with a new book in the series, because there's Binding 13 and then Keeping 13, which is about Shannon and Johnny, and then the 3rd and 4th book are Saving 6 and Redeeming 6, which are about Shannon's brother Joey, who like raised her and her siblings, and his girlfriend. And then the new one that just came out is Taming 7, which is about Johnny's best friend and his relationship. So you get like a whole story about the entire friend group.
Speaking of new books, Wind Painter is coming out in the second book called Nothing Like the Movies, which is the sequel to Better Than the Movies, this fall, and I'm so beyond excited. I will be buying it the second it hits the shelves.
Yeah. I would say I bought the Taming 7 book. As soon as it came out on the 16th, I got it on the 16th.
I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the kind of heartwarming book I want from what I've heard about it so far, but you know what? Life moves in funny ways, so
yeah.
We're going to read it.
Out of 5, I'm going to give this one a 4, because I liked the storyline and stuff, but it was just hard to read. It was very hard to read. Like there were some nights that I would cry and I couldn't pick it back up until the next day.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
This